lesson, we're going to talk about evaluating expressions. So we're going to take a step away for a little while from combining like terms, and we're going to start to solve some problems down so that we get one number. All right, so how do you evaluate an expression? Well, here is what your problem is going to look like. So you're going to be given a bunch of variables, and then you're going to be given this information right here. And you're going to have some values that correspond to the variables. So B equals 5 and C equals 15. And what you're going to do is you're going to substitute the given value for the variable. So instead of B, you're going to put a 5 in its place. And instead of the C, you're going to put a 15 in its place. When you do that, you need to put parentheses around the number that you inserted in its place. Very, very important. And then you're going to solve and simplify. So 5 to the second power is 5 times 5, which is 25, minus 15. 25 minus 15 is 10. And so 10 is your final answer. Let's go ahead and do our first example here. So here we have A plus B. A is 4, so I'm going to put it in parentheses, plus B is 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. All right, let's take a look at another one. A to the second power minus B. So A is 6, and then to the second power minus B, which is 9. And always put them in parentheses. Now you'll notice that the second power, the exponent, is outside of the parentheses because it's attached to the A. So 6 to the second power is 6 times 6, which is 36, minus 9, which is going to be 27. And that's your final answer. All right, here we have A minus B in parentheses plus C. So I'm going to open my parentheses, but I'm still going to put A in parentheses. So here we have 16 minus 7 plus 2. Order of operations tells me to do my parentheses first. 16 minus 7 is 9. Bring down the rest of my problem, plus 2. 9 plus 2 is 11. That's my final answer. All right, so now we're going to start to use formulas to evaluate expressions, okay? So this time I'm given the formula P equals 2K plus 2W. And P stands for the perimeter because it says the perimeter of a rectangle can be found using this formula. Now there's a picture here, and the picture is showing what the formula is about. So if the picture confuses you, don't worry about it. But if it helps you visualize the formula, then that's awesome too. Now, we have something for K and we have something for W. We don't have anything for P because we're trying to figure out what P is. At the end, we're going to get the answer P equals something because P is perimeter. So perimeter equals something. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. So P equals 2. So K is 8. And by the way, this is why we use parentheses, because you see how that K is right next door to the 2. If we just wrote 8 with no parentheses, it would look like 28. But that's not the case. It's 2 times 8. That's why we use parentheses. Plus 2 and then 4 in parentheses. So order of operations, P equals, tells us to do multiplication before addition. So 2 times 8 is 16. Rewrite the rest of the problem. We still have more multiplication to do first. P equals 16 plus 2 times 4 is 8. And then we're going to add those together. P equals 24. This is my final answer. It means that the perimeter of this shape equals 24. Let's try that again, but with some different numbers. And this time it's asking me to find the perimeter and the area. So it gave me the formula for the perimeter, and it gave me a separate formula for the area. So I'm finding two different things here. So I'm going to find the perimeter first. So P equals 2, and then K is 4 this time. And again, I'm putting it in parentheses, plus 2, and this time W is also a 2. So let me go ahead and solve it down. Oops. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus, rewrite the rest of the problem, P equals 8 plus 2 times 2 is 4. Add those together, P equals 12. So the perimeter equals 12. Now we have to solve for the area, and I'm going to draw an area over here. Okay, so A equals, K is 4, and W is 2, and they're next door to each other, which means multiplication. So A equals 4 times 2 is 8, and that's it. Let's do another example. Okay, so the only thing that changed is the numbers here, the values. We're still finding the perimeter and the area. So here I have P equals 2, this time K is 10, plus 2, and W is 3. So I need to solve. P equals 2 times 10 is 20, plus, rewrite the problem. P equals 20 plus 2 times 3 is 6. Add those together, P equals 26. So the perimeter of this shape is 26. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find the area. So A equals, K is 10, and then W is 3. And they're next door to each other, so it's multiplication. 10 times 3 is 30. So A equals 30. All right, so now I have a different formula. This time, the formula below is used to find the final speed of a moving object. So we're finding velocity, which is the speed of something. So V equals U plus AT, and V stands for velocity. So we're going to be left with V equals at the end. So V equals, U is 6, put it in parentheses, plus, now the A and the T are next door to each other. A is 2, the T is 5. V equals, we have to do this multiplication first. 6 plus 10, and then we add those together, and we get V equals 16. So the velocity is 16. Okay, same formula, different numbers. So again, we're finding the final speed of a moving object, which is velocity. So this time we have these values here that we're using. V equals, so U is 0 this time, plus A is 4, T is 3. V equals, we have to do the multiplication first. So 0 plus 4 times 3 is 12. Add those together, and you have V equals 12. All right, now we have a different formula. This is the formula to find the force of an object. And you probably talk about these things in science. So this is force equals mass, M is mass, times acceleration. So this time we're going to end up with F equals, force equals. So force equals, okay, so the mass is 10, and he's being multiplied times the A, which is acceleration, which is the 3. So we multiply them together. 10 times 3 is 30. That's our final answer. Okay, here we have different numbers, but we're still trying to find the force of an object. So force equals, so the mass is 200, and the acceleration is 2. F equals 200 times 2, 400. Very good. All right, now we're going to go back to perimeter here again. So this time it's giving us this formula. The perimeter of the triangle is A plus B plus C. And it gives us a picture, A plus B plus C, adding up all the sides. So perimeter equals A is 10 plus B is 12, always in parentheses, plus C is 8. So we have to take them one at a time in order from left to right. 10 plus 12 is 22. Rewrite the rest of the problem. And then 22 plus 8 is 30. So the perimeter of this triangle is 30. All right, Now this time we have the volume of a box. So volume equals A times B times C. They're all next door to each other, so it's all multiplication, volume of a box. So V equals A is 2, B is 3, C is 10, all in parentheses. So 2 times 3 is 6. Rewrite the rest of the problem. V equals 6 times 10 is 60. All right. So with this one, we need to do two things. First, here's the shape. We need to write down an expression for the perimeter. And we've done that before. We need to come up with an expression and combine like terms. So what is the perimeter of this shape? Well, it's B plus B plus A plus C plus A. Now we need to go ahead and combine like terms. So here I have B plus A plus another A, and here's plus a C. All right, so we have B plus B is 2B, A plus A is 2A, and the C is by itself. And we got to put them in alphabetical order. So 2A plus 2B plus C. So that's our expression. Now we created a formula. So we now need to find the perimeter. So here's our formula that we just made. Now here are the values for those letters, and we need to insert them to find the perimeter. So 2, and then there's times 2 for the A, plus 2 times 3 for the B, plus 5 for the C. So 2 times 2 is 4. Rewrite the rest of the problem. All right. 4 plus 6 plus 5. 4 plus 6 is 10 plus 5, and so the perimeter is 15. All right, so I want you to try these two problems. Here are your values. M is 3 and N is 4. You need to make sure that you're using order of operations, and make sure that you put them in parentheses as you solve them. All right, if you're not done, go ahead and hit pause, and if you are done, let's go over it. So if you plug them all in properly, this is what your order of operations should look like, and you should end up with 20 at the bottom here. And then for the second one, you should have ended up with 9.5 because you have a decimal here. Now if you changed it to a fraction, you should end up with 9.5. Or if you like to mix numbers or improper fractions, 19/2. Okay, let's go ahead and try these last two. M is 3 and N is 4. All right, for these last two problems, you should have ended up with 5 on the left-hand side after you solved it all, and 27 on the right-hand side. And you can go back and review my work here if you'd like. All right, that is the end of this lesson. We will do more practice in class. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.